Call the Town of Rome Plan Commission public hearing and regular meeting to order for Tuesday, February 8th, 2022 at 4:00 p.m. Number 2 is a roll call, starting on my right.
Janzik here.
Verheyen.
Baker.
Goldman.
Culberson.
Weisinger.
Commissioner Williams was excused. Also present are Town Administrator Jamie Gebert and Town's Attorney Nicholas Flanagan. Number 3 is to certify the posting of the meeting. Jamie?
I certify on January 24th, the agenda for the Town of Rome Plan Commission meeting for February 8th was emailed to the Wisconsin Rapids Tribune at 3:53 p.m., posted at Rome Town Hall at 3:34 p.m., posted at the Leicester Public Library of Rome at 9:50 a.m., and posted at Nakusa Port Edward State Bank at 5:30 p.m. It was sent to Town Web to post on the website at 3:48 p.m., and it was, the legal notice went into the paper on 1/25 and 2/1.
Thank you. And number 4 is to approve the agenda. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as printed.
Second.
Motion by Larry, second by Ron to approve the agenda. Is there any other discussion? Hearing none, then all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Number 5 is the citizen comment portion of the agenda. Jamie, do you have any cards? Anybody wishing to speak?
I do not.
Thank you. And for those folks sitting out there, the commission will also take comments from the public on agenda items as called by the chair, but not during the citizen comment portion, which is can be passed. Please note that once the commission begins discussion on an agenda item, no further comment will be allowed from the public on that issue. The next section is no action to be contemplated except possible referral to future agendas. And number 6, information updates, recent correspondence, current events, and announcements. Does anybody have anything they'd like to bring forward? Okay, hearing none, then we'll move on to item number 7, which is to open the public hearing. 7A, consideration of the issuance of a conditional use permit for the following purpose: the short-term rental at the property located at 313 Big Sky Trail, owned by Busick Family Investments LLC / Craig Busick, also described as Lot 30 of Big Sky addition to Lake Arrowhead, southwest 1/4, northeast 1/4, section 13, town 20 north, range 5 east, town of Rome, Adams County, Wisconsin, with a parcel number of 030-02883. Jamie.
I would let the commission know that 9 notice letters were sent to properties within 200 feet of the affected property. We did not receive any responses back. Craig Busick is here tonight to represent the property.
Okay, Mr. Busick,
Do you want to come up to
why
the
don't you step up to the
podium?
podium, please?
I'm sure the red light on, like,
Do you want to just to give us a brief rundown as to what your plans are?
Yeah, sure. So it's with my brother. Me and my brother built this house late summer, early fall of this year. We were both born and raised here. My parents live right next door. The other people that live next door to the other side of the house is who we bought the lot from. So we are looking to, use this down the road as a future home for us, and in the meantime, looking to use it as a short-term rental.
Okay. Commissioners?
I have nothing.
Do you live in this area now?
No.
Do you have somebody that is going to be handling the rental for you there?
Yeah, my parents live right next door.
Then they're going to be in charge of that. Okay, thank you.
They'll be considered your property managers?
Yes, while they're here for the summer months, they're gone for the winter, and then I have an aunt and uncle that live, maybe a quarter mile away.
Okay.
Peach and Paul Legay.
Yeah, because we require a property manager within 25 miles of the property. Okay.
We don't currently have that contact information, so just make a note that we would ask for that as part of the conditional use approval.
Okay. Any other questions from the commissioners?
I just also noted in the report, in the zoning administrator's report, that this property was filed through host compliance. It does have one stay, and we do need to have proof that room tax was paid for that one stay before the license would be issued.
Okay, thank you, sir. 7B, consideration of the issuance of a conditional use permit for the following purpose: short-term rental at the property located at 360 Quiet Waters Trail, owned by George and Connie Basic, also described as Lot 87 of Quiet Waters addition to Lake Arrowhead, southeast quarter, northeast quarter of section 18, town 20 north, range 6 east, town of Rome, Adams County, Wisconsin, parcel number of 030-03862. Jamie?
12 notice letters were sent to properties within 200 feet of the affected property. We did get one resident that responded, one neighbor that responded. I did include that on your tables this evening. They had no issue with the short-term rental. And tonight, representing the property is Nicole from Bacasa.
I'm sorry, Brian's actually gonna stand up.
Okay.
He's from
I'll
Picasso
step
as
up
well.
and speak. I'm Brian from Picasso. I'm the maintenance manager. I've been to your meetings before.
Okay, what can you tell us, Brian, about what's gonna happen here?
It's a short-term rental. I have no idea how much the owner plans on using it. It is 100% an income-based thing for him.
Okay.
And you are the property manager for them?
I'm the property management company. We have a resident agent type person locally here, yes.
Any other questions? Hearing none, then thank you, sir.
Thank you.
7C, consideration of the issuance of a conditional use permit for the following purpose. The short-term rental at the property located at 436 13th Drive, owned by Brian and Benjamin Snyder, also described as Lot 22 of Double Bogey addition to Lake Arrowhead, southwest 1/4, northeast 1/4, section 19, 20 town north, range 6 east, town of Rome, Adams County, Wisconsin, parcel number of 030-02973-0717. Jamie?
9 notice letters were sent to properties within 200 feet of the affected property, and representing the property here tonight is Brian Schneider.
Sir?
No comments received from neighbors.
Hello.
Hi.
So, Terry and I, we lived in Menominee Falls, Wisconsin for over 20 years, due to some medical issues. I had to leave my job early, so we moved up here. We bought a house here a couple of years ago, but we recently moved here in May. And before we moved here, we were looking in the Lake Arrowhead area for houses. As a matter of fact, we put an offer in on one before that fell through. But we really loved the area, and my son, who visited here, we drove through it. We both love the area, and we're not sure what the future brings for this, but right now we wanted a property here. Whether we'll use it for a family vacation property or what down the road, we don't know. But at this time, we wanted to buy it and do some updating to it and rent it out short term.
Similar question as previous, you'll have a property manager within 25 miles?
I am. I live about 12 miles from here, so I will be the hands-on guy.
Any other questions from the commission? Hearing nothing, then thank you, sir.
Thank you.
7D, consideration of the issuance of a conditional use permit for the following purpose. The short-term rental at the property located at 1530A Akron Avenue, owned by Stanley Lyons, described as Government Lot 10, Section 2, Town 20 North, Range 5 East, Lot 1, Certified Survey Map 5825, Town of Rome, Adams County, Wisconsin, parcel number of 030-00053.
There were 11 notice letters sent to properties within 200 feet of the affected property. We did receive 2 comments back, one against, one in support. Both were distributed at your desk tonight. And here to represent the property is Stanley Lyons.
What would you like to tell us, sir?
I live in Sun Prairie, Wisconsin, and I built this cabin over about 6 years. I retired from the Army and wanted a little piece of heaven getaway from me and my 2 kids. Sadly, but not sadly, my son has his first job at Menards, so we can't come up as much, so we will be using it periodically. Wanted to do a short-term rental because it sits empty a lot, and just figured in another 8 years when I retire again, I'm going to come up here and live full-time. But I'm from Sun Prairie, and I've got Vicasa and Nicole here they're my property management.
Very good. Commissioners, anything? Hearing nothing, then thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Number 8, closed public hearing. Is there a motion?
So moved. Second it.
Motion by Ron, second by Larry to close the public hearing. Is there any other discussion? Hearing nothing, then all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. The next section of the agenda is discuss the possible action on the following items. Number 9, discussion of possible action on the meeting minutes from Tuesday, January 11th, 2022. Everybody should have been given a copy of those.
Make a motion to approve as printed.
Second.
Motion by Dan, second by Ron to approve the minutes as printed. Is there any other discussion? Hearing none, then all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Item number 10, discuss some possible action, consideration of sign permit to locate a 6-foot by 12-foot sign in public/semi-public zoning at the corner of Highway O and State Highway 13 for Deer Hughes recreational area. Jamie?
Yep, we'll have Brad come up to the podium. Brad Martinson's our Director of Public Works. I did include in your packet a photo of what that sign would look like. This property is owned by the town of Rome. It does need to be rezoned from forest and recreation to public, semi-public. But for this evening, it would be approving placing a sign on that public, semi-public property with a little bit larger size than we have in ordinance, which I've noted in your zoning administrator report. Any additional questions? That's what Brad is here to answer.
So the rezoning will take place next month?
Next month, it's noticed for next month.
Okay.
So just to clarify, if you approve this item this evening, you would likely make it conditioned on the zoning being PSP. So once
Okay.
you would approve the zoning at the next meeting, then it would be final. Otherwise, this would just be conditioned on subsequent rezone.
Just one comment. I would think the arrows would be a lot more distinctive than the sign, than lettering saying turn right or turn left. Reason.
Actually, we didn't wanna have arrows put on there. You got the latest? Oh, yes, yep. I see, we've had 2 different versions come through recently. We had the arrows and we didn't have them, but,
One we received says,
yep, I see.
Got the
one you
text
guys
on it
says the
rather
arrows
than
aren't
arrows.
right.
No, I think the one they received says turn left or right,
Yeah.
Yeah.
depending on which side of the sign you're on.
when you're driving down the highway, it's hard to read all that. The arrow is more distinctive, easier to.
Actually, we had one drawn up with the arrows and it looks very confusing. Looks out of place. They have the little arrows down the bottom. The main portion, because everyone knows is down there, because we have other signs along the highway, you know, the brown Syracuse Recreational Park ahead. That it's more to show that it's turn right there, you know, which is why it says this Syracuse Recreational Area, Town of Rome.
Are these gonna replace the brown signs?
No. No.
It's just addition to the,
Yes, because right now we have nothing down there to really stand out and let people know it. With the expansion we did last year, we've got now ATVs and stuff right along the side of Highway 13 where at least track is. So now people drive by, they see them, wonder what's going on. Here's a sign, Syracuse Recreation.
They have multiple arrows or just like a?
There's
something wider?
one on each side, and that's hard to tell. This draft that was done, then we decided not to do. They just,
Oh, that had arrows and text.
yeah,
Can't we just have an arrow?
just one arrow.
Yeah,
One long arrow.
something that's half the width of the entire width.
I think we want to also have it so it says Town of Rome, so people know that's owned by the Town of Rome.
So that would be in the small letters like it shows on ours then for turn right, turn left? That, or would you reconstruct this whole sign?
Well,
Ours
I'll be
says-
honest with you, the sign's already ordered, as is.
So why are we doing this?
Why we approve-
All right, thank you, there's a good one. Well, Greg brought it to my attention after we had everything ordered, that it wasn't, it's not zoned properly, and then we need a permit for it, so.
So in our sign ordinance with PSP properties, it does require approval by the plan commission for placement of them. And so part of your approval here is really just signing off on where it's being proposed to place as well as So not just the design, but also the placement of the sign.
So what does the one you ordered look like?
The one that was presented to you in your packet.
'Cause it doesn't say anything about Town of Rome on that either, but, okay,
No. Yours says it just turn right and turn left.
yep.
Yeah. Where is Town of Rome on this one then?
It's not, it was on the previous one, I misspoke.
Okay, but this is the one that's ordered?
Yeah, that's the
Okay.
one that's ordered.
So it doesn't say Town of
It
Rome?
won't
just
say
says
Town of Rome then on them.
Derek Hughes Recreational Area.
Yes. We've gone through multiple drafts of this. They'll be going to the southeast corner, Highway 13 and Highway Old, up all the side of the Vision Triangle, off of the state right away on our property.
You have to get a permit from the state too, right?
Yes, the graphic house is taking care of all permits needed for the state.
I'll make a motion to approve the sign permit, provided that the zoning of the property is changed from, was it forced to public, semi-public?
Second.
Again, motion's on the floor to approve the project. Is there any further discussion? A motion by Dan, second by Paul, to approve the project. Is there any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Item number 11, discussion and possible action, consideration of the issuance of a conditional use permit for the following purpose. A short-term rental at the property located at 313 Big Sky Trail, owned by Busick Family Investments LLC / Craig Busick, also described as Lot 30 of Big Sky addition to Lake Arrowhead, southwest 1/4, northeast 1/4, section 13, town 20 north, range 5 east, town of Rome, Adams County, Wisconsin, with a parcel number of 030-02883.
Just a reminder that 11, 12, 13, and 14 all have findings of fact, so if you could incorporate the findings of fact into your motion along with any conditions and the term.
Okay, I'll take a stab at it.
Wait, one sec.
You want to, or?
I could mention it. So I did, in the zoning administrator report, you'll notice and Nick had pointed out to me that I did put in here that vehicles have to be parked on hard surfaces, not on the lawn or grass. I think that's just something, if the commission would agree, that we want to be specific about, that the number of vehicles that we allow per property would always be parked on hard surface, not in the lawns or on the roadside, but in their driveway hard surface.
And just as a supplement to that, my understanding is that we haven't seen this as a problem necessarily, but it is consistently a concern from the neighbors. So it is something that people are doing good and parking on the hard surfaces, but it is often a concern, and so now we can assure those that have those concerns that conditions have been placed on where that is parked and ensuring that it's on hard surfaces.
So that should be on finding of the fact then,
You
also?
put it as part of the condition, so you already, you would do it in the same spot that you have the number of vehicles, and you would just have it read something along the lines of, and I'll just use it for this example, maximum number of vehicles shall be 6 to be parked on hard surfaces, not on the lawn and grass areas.
Does gravel count as a hard surface?
Yes,
That hard surface includes gravel, right?
yes.
Yes.
Okay. I'll make a motion to approve the conditional use permit for 313 Big Sky Trail. Term to be indefinite so long as the short-term license is maintained with a max occupancy of 15, max vehicles of 6 to be parked on hard surfaces only, including the findings of fact and a property manager on record with the town within 25 miles.
Second.
One other item that I do see in this, with this
Yeah,
specific
do you wanna
property,
include that?
there is a reference to the room tax. Would you like to put that as a condition that this item is conditioned on the applicant providing documentation of payment of the room tax owed for prior
Well, that would
service?
have to be done before they would issue the permit though anyway, right?
I would think that it would have to be done before they would get the room
So it doesn't really have to be on finding of the fact then, does it?
I think it just ensures that it's completed, cause a license wouldn't be issued if it wasn't completed.
Okay. I'll amend my motion to include that payment of the, room tax, right?
Room tax for prior.
For prior rentals is, completed prior to issuance of the conditional use permit.
I'll revise my second to include that.
Any other discussion? Hearing nothing, then all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Number 12. Discuss some possible action, consideration of the issuance of a conditional use permit for the following purpose. Short-term rental at the property located at 360 Quiet Waters Trail, owned by George and Connie Basic. Also described as Lot 87 of Quiet Waters addition to Lake Arrowhead, southeast 1/4, northeast 1/4, section 18, town 20 north, range 6 east, town of Rome, Adams County, Wisconsin, with a parcel number of 030-03862.
I'll make a motion to approve with, the,
Findings of fact.
finding of fact, to include, limited to 12 persons, 4 vehicles to be parked on a hard surface.
Term indefinite with valid.
Indefinite term, yes.
And property
Property
manager.
manager.
And property manager, yep, okay.
Yes.
I'll second the motion. Any discussion on a motion? Hearing none, then all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Number 13. Discussion of possible action, consideration of the issuance of a conditional use permit for the following purpose. Short-term rental at the property located at 436 13th Drive, owned by Brian and Benjamin Snyder. Also described as Lot 22 of Double Bogey addition to Lake Arrowhead, southwest 1/4, northeast 1/4, section 19, town 20 north, range 6 east, town of Rome, Adams County, Wisconsin, with a parcel number of 030-02973-0717.
I'll make a motion to approve the issuance of a conditional use report permit for the property at 436 13th Drive with the findings in fact as shown, maximum occupancy of 8 and maximum number of vehicles parked on hard surface is 4. The term shall be indefinite as long as there's a short-term rental license in effect, and a property manager needs to be noted within 25 miles of the property and recorded with the town.
Second.
Motion by Jerry, second by Dan to approve. Any other discussion? Hearing nothing, then all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. And number 14, discussion and possible action, consideration of the issuance of a conditional use permit for the following purpose. Short-term rental at the property located at 1530A Akron Avenue, owned by Stanley Lyons, described as Government Lot 10, Section 2, Town 20 North, Range 5 East, Lot 1 of Certified Survey Map 5825, Town of Rome, Adams County, Wisconsin, with a parcel number of 030-00053.
I'll make a motion to issue a conditional use permit for 1530A Akron Avenue, with the term to be indefinite so long as the short-term license is maintained, a max occupancy of 8, max vehicles of 5, provided they're parked on a hard surface, including the findings of fact, and the property manager on record with the town, within 25 miles.
Second.
Motion by Dan, second by Jerry to approve. Any other discussion? Hearing nothing, then all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. I'll let Jamie get her paper shuffling done quickly.
It's still sitting up here, all right.
We still have to finish the licensing process, but this is this part of it, yes. Nicole knows, she's got it done.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Have a good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Did we already read 15?
Not yet.
Okay,
I was waiting till you were done.
thank you.
Item number 15, discussion of possible action, review of town's goals, objectives, and policies for the intergovernmental cooperation element of the town's comprehensive plan and establishing a vision to guide future development and growth.
So this was the last chapter that we had to review. I did get comments back from Plan Commission members. We still have to review this last chapter with the CDA, and then we're done with chapter review. We have had a conversation with the CDA that now might be a good time to schedule a joint meeting of Plan Commission and CDA members to combine all of the information that we got into chapter documents of both CDA and Plan Commission. Just review that information together in one joint meeting, and then essentially establish a subcommittee that would do a deep dive together on how that update would look into the comprehensive plan. Cause that might take a little while, and it might be difficult to organize both committees through an entire process, where maybe selecting 2 from Plan and 2 from CDA makes more sense to work through that. So I think a thought tonight was to see if maybe we even put a tentative date on a calendar of when that joint meeting would be, and we could explore that then if it would also work with the CDA. Obviously, it's 12 members, because we do have 2 duplicates, so 12 people is gonna be difficult to get everyone there, but we would do our best to have one large joint meeting to start.
I think you had originally proposed a series of dates that you were gonna throw out there for everybody to kind of vote on, and then the majority ruled. Did I hear that correctly last time?
I can throw out a series of dates too.
I don't know if that would be easier than everybody just picking a date. I have no objections, unless you wanna throw out a couple of dates now and poll us to see if any of those are good for us.
I guess I would defer to schedules, because I know Dan has a little bit tighter schedule. Not that everyone doesn't have a tight schedule, but if there's those with less flexibility, if there are days of the week or times that would work better.
I would make a suggestion is maybe have it alongside of one of the meetings, like this meeting or the other group's meeting. If we could have it prior to that or after that, I think it would make sense, because we're all here anyway, at least half the group is here. If that makes sense.
CDA's meetings coincide with board meeting nights, though, don't they?
They do, so it'd have to be Plan Commission night. Yeah. But we could do, I'm gonna call Greg after this and tell him that it's 4:28, like, cause the joke is always when I host Plan Commission that it takes 3 hours.
We're not done yet.
I know, I understand.
Yeah, adjourned.
But if we did March 8th, that would be after the next CDA, so they would be through all of the chapters. And we could say Plan Commission at 4 and the joint meeting is at 5.
It wouldn't work for me, but if it works for everybody else, that'd be fine. I just can't have a meeting after every time.
What time is your next meeting, Nick?
Well, it's always at 6.
Where do you have to run to?
Up to Grand Rapids. 5:30 is pretty much the cutoff for me
Okay.
to leave.
Well, it's tough for you to be here at 3 though, isn't
It's not a
it? Can we do
regular
it before our meeting? Would that work for you?
Certainly would work for me, yes.
Is that enough time?
But, right,
Is
that's
an
what I was
hour
gonna
enough
say.
time?
Well, at least to get a starting process, and
Subcommittee selected?
yes, I think we could, as long as we had a quorum of both, we could select the 2 members from each one of the groups, each one of the committees, and start a process. I think we just wanted to have one large meeting to start with, just so everybody was comfortable and familiar with the process that we would be taking after that.
Works for me.
Yep.
Well, I'll be around in town that day, cause we've got utility committee in the morning.
Oh, so if we did,
That provides flexibility to get everybody here at any point during that day. then I can make it work.
okay. Would the 8th, if we did anytime after that, or noon to 4 o'clock timeframe, be okay?
It sounds like it shouldn't be a long meeting if we're just gonna basically, select a subcommittee
So I think
and go over the
we-
process.
I think we'll have a packet for everybody with all the feedback that's been received so far. We can do just a general overview of that, and we can then discuss what the process would look like going forward. So, I think an hour is probably enough time to do all of that.
Okay,
I'm up in the air as to whether I'll be here or not, only because I haven't decided whether we're supposed to go on a cruise and leave the 6th. So depending on what the cruise line does with their policies for masking and things like that, I may or may not be able to be here. So just so you know.
See if they can hold a report for a day.
who's our vice chair?
Larry. Oh, no, you're secretary. I don't know that we have a vice chair. I think in my absence, one time Jerry ran the meeting. I'm sure either Jerry or Dan are both qualified to run the meeting if need be.
Okay,
Not that I want to give you any more responsibilities,
but we
I'm
could
sure
make
you
it,
can.
that work. I mean, essentially, we'd just be calling it to order. It wouldn't, and CDA would call theirs to order, so it,
Well, we've got plan commission that night too,
yeah. So
Uh,
two, yeah, two
Can I make
meetings.
another suggestion or ask? You know, in the process of going through all the different chapters in the comp plan, we've all submitted ideas, and they were all compiled for the next meeting that we came to. Would it be possible to make a compilation of all of the planning commission and all of the CDAs, so that we all have something to look at when the meeting starts?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah, and we would have that out ahead of time before that meeting on the 8th, so you would have some time with it,
Okay.
yes. It isn't gonna be separated plan and CDA, cause they got
They got
together.
blended,
Yeah, they
yes.
got blended, but, yeah, we can have a compiled of all what we've received for all chapters.
Okay.
The flip side of that, I guess I should say, is if you haven't submitted for a chapter and you still wanna submit for a chapter, or you just wanna go back and review and make sure that you got all of your input in for all the chapters, now's the time. So you would have between now and the end of the month. You know, let's just say between now and the 22nd. If it's not in by the 22nd, then it's not gonna go into the larger grouping.
Anything else from anybody regarding this issue?
Just a quick question on that, do you have the kind of input that you want and you need? In your opinion?
Yes, I mean, we have input. I think it's, the CDA had sort of shared that they feel more meaningful conversations will happen as we have discussions about it, but we do at least have starting points for all of the chapters.
Carl's on CDA, yes?
Jerry and Jeff are both on CDA too.
Oh, good point. So are we going to have a quorum of board members?
Yes.
Yes, we'd have 3.
Okay. So we'll just
We'll do
notice
it.
appropriately.
Yeah, we'll do a bad key notice. We'll do it as a joint, CDA plan commission meeting for that 3 o'clock. Issue a separate agenda. We'll do a notice on the bottom to cover us. But I don't know if that was where you were going with it.
No, actually.
But as you mentioned it, I thought,
Where I was really going with that is, I like Chairman Hasbill to be present to voice his opinions on his vision he has for this process of all of us getting together, like he did at town board. Just so that everybody hears the same message, I guess.
Yep. We'll work on that agenda then, 'cause
I took it as a different note, but I'll make sure that we're noticed accordingly. Thank you.
Anything else, Jamie? Any other discussion?
this is making me think about what week of the month that is, though, Chairman is gone that week of March. Sorry. Also good that you brought it up now.
Well,
Yeah,
you can get, if he wants to be part of it.
Yeah.
do we wanna do it in March or put it off till April?
I'd like to do it sometime in March.
Is he just gone 1 week?
He's just gone 1 week.
Well, would it be feasible to move plan commission meeting to a week? And then, how long are you gone, Mike?
I come back, I believe, on the 19th.
And I wouldn't be, we can't change plan from the 8th because the comp plan needed a 30-day notice.
Yep, we've already noticed the public hearing.
Yeah.
Can't move it to the, like the 15th, you're saying?
Right.
Right,
Yeah.
because so part of our rezone requires a comp plan amendment, and we need that 30-day publication, so we've already got it published.
How about the 22nd? Because there's a voter forum on the 21st.
So, I don't know how many this influenced, but 14 Mile on the 22nd is gonna have their 5 to 7, like, intro of the 9 key element plan that evening.
Here?
Yes, it actually would be in the community room, but it would be here at Town Hall. I mean, we could have 2 separate rooms, but I'm not sure how many people that might overlap with. I know, scheduling is,
What if you did it
Otherwise,
next
we
week?
can send a doodle poll and just,
yeah, throw out some dates.
It's not 428 anymore.
I understand, I was watching that myself.
Yeah, it doesn't necessarily have to be with the plan commission, we're just trying to attach it to one when somebody's already here. I mean, a group, part of the group is here. But,
Yeah, I mean, it could be on a date where neither one of us is scheduled to meet that we can get together too.
Yeah, and I'm not opposed to the 22nd, I mean, it isn't like, we wouldn't have space to kind of complete both, we would just be in this room instead of the community room. Let's,
What about, now does the 14 Mile, would theirs be televised?
they haven't asked for it to be televised, ours would be televised.
well, to the earlier comment, about chairman, there is a couple different options if the third worked for everybody, or sorry, if the previous date worked for everybody, and that would be either he could put together a memo and just then also join the subcommittee. I mean, he could be involved in that way. Otherwise, we'd have to look at other dates.
Let me check with Sherman, and then we'll circle back. Why don't we still hold 3 PM on the 8th, does that seem to be our most successful?
Can you pop in on a teleconference too, like we used to do?
I don't know if that would be an option or not.
No, I don't know where the ship is gonna be if I go at that point.
I wouldn't.
No.
you're on the ship, you don't have many
No,
communication options.
yeah, the internet system that they have isn't the greatest.
It'd be kinda tough for us even by pool too.
Yeah, that would be kinda ugly.
Didn't mean it that way.
Well, and shoot for the 8th, I mean, or depending what the town chairman has, what his schedule looks like. Go from there.
Yep, we'll make a plan. Worst case scenario, we move to April if we have to.
Okay, anything else? All right, item number 16 then are the next agenda items. Nick?
I've got one. So we'd ask that the next agenda have a discussion only, just an overview of our regulations for number of accessory structures and lot coverage in residential districts. So as we've been going through our regulations, we've noticed some maybe opportunities to explore height regulations for either placing a number of accessory structures as a maximum or the lot coverage. We do regulate that in LD, Lake District. We don't regulate it in other districts. Really, the purpose of this would just be an overview. There won't be any proposed language in an ordinance. We'd just like to get your thoughts on it before we would move forward, and if everybody's okay with how it is, then we would leave it. So, it would be on the agenda as an item, if that's all right with you.
Then we have the rezone for the property at Jerk Hughes.
We have 2 rezones and 3 more short-term rentals.
So then everything stands then. The next meeting date will be March 8th, 2022 at 4:00 PM. Is there a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion, we adjourn.
Second.
Motion by Larry, second by Paul to adjourn. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Be adjourned at 4:42 PM.